Well, hello everybody, it's Sarah here. Peace be with you. I'm going to light a special candle so that we know that we've begun our assembly. Who wants to blow it out? This term I've got a picture here. This is Jesus, and this is a picture of his friend. And for today's story, I've put out a net. My net here. This term, we're going to be thinking about what makes school a really good place to be. What all those things that we need to do to make school be a good place to be. I wonder, can you think about how we behave to each other that would make school a good place to be? I'm thinking about being friendly and being kind and perhaps forgiving each other and being fair and it being a place where everyone matters. I wonder if you can think of some other things. I love the beginning of a new term when we all get back together again and we can have a new start. I've got a story for you this morning. It comes from the Lion Storyteller Bible. It's about how a new group of people made friends with Jesus and they were given a new start. Here's my story. It's called Jesus Special Friends. And we can see there a picture of some boats and some nets with some fish in it. Here's the story. Jesus grew up in a place called Galilee, where there was a large and beautiful lake, and it was there that he began to work for God. God is like a king, he told the people. He wants all of you to be part of his kingdom, to love him and to love one another. People liked to hear Jesus talk. In fact, one morning the crowd was so huge that Jesus was nearly pushed into the sea. "Excuse me," Jesus asked the fisherman, "could I borrow your boat for a while?" The fisherman's name was Peter. "Of course," he said, "it's doing me no good. I was out all night and I didn't catch a thing." Jesus climbed into the boat. Peter rowed it a little way from the shore, and from there Jesus talked to the crowd. When he had finished, Jesus sent the people home, and then he turned to Peter. "Let's go a little further out," he whispered. "I want to catch some fish." Well, Peter tossed his head back and he laughed. "I told you, my men were out all last night and we caught no fish." Jesus didn't say a word. He just smiled and looked across the lake. "All right," Peter sighed, "if that is what you want." So Peter sailed to the deepest part of the lake and he dropped his fishing nets over the side. It took no time at all The net started pulling and jerking and stretching, and it was all Peter could do to keep the boat from tipping over. "Help!" Peter called to some friends. "Help me!" And they rowed to him as fast as they could. And then all together the men pulled on the nets, and the fish came tumbling onto the decks of the boats. Red fish and blue fish, and not just one or two fish, many fish, so many that the boats would have sunk if they had not rowed quickly back to shore. Peter looked at the fish. Peter looked at his friends. Then Peter looked at Jesus and fell on his knees trembling. Only God could do that, Peter said. And why would someone like that want to go fishing with the likes of me? Jesus shook his head and smiled. "Don't be scared," he said. "God has given me a lot of work to do, but I need helpers like you and your friends. Once you fished for fish, but from now on you'll be fishing for people and helping me bring them to God." Then Jesus stepped out of the boat and walked away across the shore. "Come with me," he called. Peter and his friends watched him go. They looked at the fish, and they looked at each other, and then they dropped their nets, left their boats behind, and raced off to follow Jesus. And that's the story of how Peter and his friends made friends with Jesus, and how Jesus gave them a new start and a new job to do. There's a really good song that I like singing. It's called "Jesus is My Friend." You might want to work out some actions for it. I'm going to put out our candle. Say our school prayer. Lord, bless our school that working together and playing together, we may learn to serve you and to serve each other. Amen.
Boom, boom, ba-doo-doo-doo-doo. Boom, boom, ba-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Jesus is my friend, and I'm a friend of Jesus. Jesus is my friend, and I'm a friend of his. I can talk to him anytime I like. He's always listening, that's how I know that Jesus is my friend, and I'm a friend of his. Jesus is my friend, and I'm a friend of Jesus. Jesus is my friend, and I'm a friend of his. I can talk to him anytime I like. He's always listening, that's how I know